So specifically in the whole history of the movement, so when did this conversation change from sustainability and sustainable practices to now the term that I'm hearing is climate adaptation, climate resilience, along with climate mitigation? So are we losing hope, facing realities? What's going on?
So there's mitigation, adaptation, and resilience, right? These are the terms that you will hear in the context of climate solutions. Mitigation is what you do today to make the future better. So, what can I do today to make sure that the temperatures don't go beyond 2 degrees Celsius 2 decades later, right? That is mitigation. And so, mitigation is a lot about doing things that will reduce emissions, right? Because when you're reducing emissions, you will prevent greenhouse effect in the future, and therefore temperature rise will probably get arrested.
Right.
Yeah, that's all mitigation. So, for example, if you ever say we build a solar power plant, it is going to replace fossil fuel, it will reduce emissions. It's a solution that comes under mitigation, right?
Right.
Adaptation is saying that, hey, now some part of the damage is done. Because of everything that we have done, we're already seeing impacts, right? And that you can't prevent. Like, even if you make emissions zero today, some things are going to happen.
Right.
Like cyclones are already happening, heat waves are already happening. Now, everything you need to do to allow people to adjust to these impacts, right? Prevent or reduce loss of life and infrastructure is what is adaptation, right? Resilience is how can we build our capabilities to one, maybe forecast some of this and also recover faster, right? So that's building resilience. So
What do you mean by that?
so for example, you could have an early warning system, right? So when you have cyclones, right? If you have an early warning system, and by the way, they're getting a lot better, right? So, an interesting thing, we have much more intense cyclones and, hurricanes now, but we have a lot less loss of life. Because, for example, our systems have become, we can warn, we know cyclones are coming and you're able to evacuate people, which we could not do earlier, right? So, interesting, Bangladesh gets some of the worst cyclones, right? But Bangladesh now has a record that in most of their recent cyclones, they've not lost a single life. They have become so good at disaster mitigation, right? And that's the second part of resilience. So, and then how can you recover faster? So, after say an extreme weather event has happened, right? You've lost infrastructure. How can you just build back faster? So that's resilience, right? That's how do you build resilience? Because, and even resilience comes from the point of view that, hey, some part of the damage is locked in,
Right.
And so we have to address it, right? We have to do something to kind of reduce the impact that is going to cause on humans and other living beings and infrastructure.